There is a mistake that riders make every single day on motorcycles, everywhere. Not new riders, not inexperienced riders, experienced riders who've been riding for years. Riders who consider themselves competent and careful. And this mistake doesn't reveal itself during normal riding. It reveals itself in the one moment when everything depends on your brakes working exactly as they should, an emergency stop. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what this mistake is, why it's so dangerous, and exactly how to correct it before it puts you in a situation you cannot ride away from. We'll also cover 4 other brake mistakes that build on the main one, because dangerous brake habits rarely travel alone. What we reveal at mistake number 3 has caused more motorcycle accidents than most riders would ever believe. And mistake number 5 is the one that kills brakes silently over months while the rider has no idea it's happening. Let's get into it. The main mistake, only using one brake. This is it. This is the mistake that experienced riders make confidently every single day, grabbing only the front brake in an emergency, or relying almost entirely on the rear brake in slow speed situations and carrying that habit into higher speed emergencies. Here's the physics that makes this so dangerous. Your motorcycle has 2 brakes for a reason. Under maximum braking, weight transfers dramatically forward, compressing the front forks, loading the front tire, and simultaneously unloading the rear tire. In this condition, the front tire has maximum grip available and can absorb enormous braking force. The rear tire, now lightly loaded, has very little grip and locks easily with minimal brake input. A rider who grabs only the front brake in an emergency is leaving 60 to 70% of their available stopping power completely unused. Their stopping distance is dramatically longer than it needs to be, and in an emergency, stopping distance is the difference between stopping before the obstacle and not stopping before the obstacle. A rider who over-relies on the rear brake in an emergency locks the rear wheel because an unloaded rear tire locks with very little force. A locked rear wheel causes the bike to slide sideways. At low speed, this is recoverable. At higher speeds, a locked rear combined with any steering input causes a high side, one of the most violent and dangerous crashes in motorcycling. The correct technique is both brakes applied simultaneously and progressively. Front brake applied firmly, not grabbed suddenly, applied with progressive increasing pressure. Mistake 2, covering the brake lever with 4 fingers. Watch experienced riders at traffic lights and you'll see this everywhere. 4 fingers wrapped around the brake lever, thumb on the throttle. It feels secure. It feels like you're ready to brake instantly. It's slowing your emergency response when it matters most. Here's why. When you brake hard with 4 fingers, your hand position requires you to simultaneously release the throttle completely before full braking force can be applied. The mechanical interaction between 4-finger braking and throttle control creates a brief conflict in hand position that introduces a fraction of a second delay in maximum brake application. 2-finger braking, index finger and middle finger on the lever, ring finger and little finger wrapped around the throttle grip, eliminates this conflict. Your throttle hand maintains its grip while 2 fingers apply full brake force immediately and independently. Modern brake systems are designed to deliver full stopping power through 2 fingers of normal hand strength. You don't need 4 fingers for braking force. You need 2 fingers for speed and control. Switch to 2-finger brake coverage. It feels unfamiliar for the first few rides. It becomes automatic within a week, and it shaves a critical fraction of a second from your emergency response time. Mistake 3, braking while leaned over in a corner. This is the mistake that has caused more motorcycle accidents than most riders would ever believe, because it feels intuitive. You're going too fast into a corner. You need to slow down. The brake is right there. Your tire has a finite amount of grip available at any moment. That grip budget is shared between 2 demands simultaneously: cornering force and braking force. When the bike is leaned over in a corner, your tire is already using a significant portion of its available grip just to maintain the cornering arc. The remaining grip available for braking is a fraction of what's available when the bike is upright. Hard braking while leaned over in a corner asks the tire for more grip than it has. The front tire folds and you low side, or the rear locks and steps out and you high side. both happen faster than any rider can react to because they happen at the exact moment grip is exceeded, which is the moment before you knew it was going to happen. The correct technique is to complete all significant braking before the corner entry point, while the bike is still upright and all available grip can be directed to stopping. Trail braking, carrying light brake pressure into the initial corner entry, is an advanced technique that works within the tire's grip budget when done correctly. But grabbing the brake mid-corner because the speed is wrong is not trail braking. It's a panic input that exceeds tire grip without warning. If you find yourself going too fast mid-corner, the correct response is to look through the corner, relax your grip, trust the tire, and let the bike run wide if necessary rather than grabbing the brake. A wide line is survivable. Exceeding tire grip mid-corner frequently isn't. Mistake 4. Ignoring brake fade on long descents. Brake fade is what happens when brakes get hot, not warm, hot. Extended braking on long downhill sections heats the brake fluid inside the caliper. Brake fluid has a boiling point. When fluid temperature reaches that point, it vaporizes and creates gas bubbles in the hydraulic line. Gas compresses, fluid doesn't. A hydraulic line with gas bubbles in it stops transmitting braking force efficiently. Your lever travel increases suddenly, the brake feels spongy, and your stopping power drops dramatically at the exact moment you need it most, descending a long hill at speed. The prevention is simple. On long descents, use engine braking as your primary speed control. Select a lower gear and let the engine slow the bike. Use the brakes briefly and intermittently to supplement, not continuously to control speed. Brief applications generate heat that dissipates between applications. Continuous application builds heat that has nowhere to go until it reaches the fluid. Also, check your brake fluid condition every 12 months. Fresh brake fluid has a high boiling point. Old brake fluid absorbs moisture over time, which lowers its boiling point significantly, making fade occur at lower temperatures and more easily. A brake fluid flush is inexpensive and restores full fade resistance completely. Mistake 5. Never inspecting brake hoses. This is the silent one, the mistake that destroys braking performance gradually over months, while the rider notices nothing until the hose fails. Your brake hoses carry hydraulic fluid under pressure from the master cylinder to the caliper. They flex with every steering input on the front end. They're exposed to heat, UV radiation, road grime, and ozone constantly. And they degrade from the inside out. The internal lining deteriorates and can partially collapse, restricting fluid flow, or deteriorate into debris that contaminates the fluid and caliper. External inspection tells you about surface cracking and weathering, but tells you very little about internal condition. A hose that looks acceptable externally can have internal deterioration that's causing your brake feel to change slowly. More lever travel needed, slightly less bite than before. Brake hoses on motorcycles should be replaced every 4 to 5 years regardless of external appearance. If your bike has original hoses and is more than 5 years old, replace them. Braided stainless steel lines are a worthwhile upgrade over rubber hoses. They don't expand under pressure the way rubber does, giving firmer, more consistent brake feel and significantly longer service life. Your brakes work correctly right up until the moment they don't. Make sure that moment never comes because of something on this list. Subscribe for more real motorcycle knowledge. See you in the next one.